people are still listening to these demo songs that we put out so long ago, as if they came out yesterday or something. And I'm just like, wow, like this is insane. Funny thing is that it was never meant to even be really liked. Music that was made to really piss people off and be like, just turn it off.
As abrasive as possible.
Please don't ever play that again, ever. On this abstract artistic level, it seems like early on only stoners really got that hint. I feel like that's just what it was, like if you're stoned and listening to Waking, you were like, all right, this is the shit. That's the good word. That's the shit. Doesn't get any fucking better than that in life. And to witness this and to know that I get to contribute to this gives me goosebumps on a whole other level, because I'm changing my frequency just by fucking speaking about such things. and this is what it's about.
Real quick before we start, I just wanted to mention that we do these podcast recordings live on stream. We stream every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. EST on Twitch. It's an opportunity for you guys to come hang out, interact, and ask your questions directly to all of our guests. We also have a Discord if you want to keep talking more about deathcore and metalcore, or simply to keep up with everything that we're doing, upcoming guests, and all that jazz. I'll leave links to both of these things in the description wherever you are watching or listening. And with that out of the way, please enjoy this episode. Welcome to episode 20 of the Brutality podcast. My name is Dom. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Yan. How you doing?
How do you think I'm doing right now, honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm extremely excited. I'm doing, couldn't be more excited right now.
It was, I don't know, how do you call that? Like a question that you asked, but you already know the answer to? I don't know what the word is for that in English, but one of those. But yeah, man, we are super fucking excited today, man. We have the man, the myth, the legend, fucking Don from Waking the Cadaver. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey guys, I really appreciate it. It's really great to be here. This is really fun, and I really appreciate the support. It's like mind-blowing support, the community's so strong, and you guys are just amazing to dedicate as much time as you are to the worldwide community that we have that is really special, and that I owe a lot to, and I think it's fantastic. So I just want to say it's an honor, a privilege, pleasure to be here and to be a part of this, and thank you so much for taking the time to discuss all things that you want to discuss.
That's amazing. It's to be honest, it's an honor for us, right? Like the second we announced that, you would be here and stuff, like the amount of comments that we received, like what? Wow. Because I know you guys didn't do a lot of these things, right? We're
kind of low key, kind of.
Which is awesome, if I'm honest. It creates this, people are wondering, like, what are they doing music, what they're doing and stuff. Obviously, we see all the sold out shows all the freaking time, which is awesome.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah.
That's amazing. But to have you here to be able to like discuss how it was back then, and you saw everything, right? You saw the beginning of when the scene was starting to take off and all that. We appreciate you. It's amazing that you're here, man, for real.
I appreciate that. I really do. I love you guys. You guys are great.
I love you too, man. It's kind of a running joke, and I know, Don, you know that, but like, it's not even about Waking a Cadaver, and I keep bringing it up. Like every podcast we do or whatever, even with our guest, I'm like, hey, and we talk about your last album, what you do and stuff. So it's kind of a running joke that I keep bringing it up. So having you here,
if we don't talk about Waking the Cadaver at least once during a show, it's not really a Brutality podcast. Well, I could say that much.
I appreciate that. That means the world. I never thought it would be this worldwide attention. It's very hard for me to grip on sometimes. I'm a pretty humble person, and the amount of attention that is on this band, and the amount of love and support that I've seen are things that my mind couldn't even dream up. Just like you, you're a testament to the longevity of the band and what it brought and what it did to a whole genre of music. That the funny thing is that it was never meant to even be really liked. This is the more like music that was made to really piss people off and be like, just turn it off,
as abrasive as possible.
Yeah, just please don't ever play that again, ever. So it's funny how like we went in another direction, and that's what's up.
For sure. I was reading somewhere that some of that love and some of that hype is what kind of contributed to you guys coming back from the like 5-year hiatus. Is that correct? Would that be something you'd attest to?
Yeah. I did not think even something like us coming back onto the scene that we've been really absent for. And we're not really hustling online, like you guys said, we've just really just chilled out. Mainly that's it mainly happened because of life. Things happen, people have different things to do in life, and life changes for everybody. Some people have to go, things have to get put on pause, but when you're just really passionate about making the music and keeping that alive, it's incredible to come back and play what you love, and then all of a sudden see this massive sold out support instantly. And that's only possible from the fans. It's only possible from support. And I think it's just incredible to go through this lifelong journey, that I didn't really understand that I was going to invest a whole life in, at least 20 years of my life into this. And just having fun with my friends, and then have it change constantly, is basically what put the band in these different positions to have to roll with the punches and deal with things, whether they're up or down, left or right. It's really just something that you have to just deal with, and sometimes you have to wait for the right moment for things to happen too. And when that comes, it comes. It may never come. It may only happen once. It may only happen for a little bit. And I didn't think the worldwide journey, around this planet so far, was anything on the table when it first started, and it grew and grew and grew, and now it's like people just can't get enough and they want more. And there's this whole worldwide community that's in this little niche, and it has grown
more now
so
than
much,
ever, right? Yeah. Like with online and all that, and streaming services, even compared to when you guys started, right?
Exactly. It's grown. It's just grown everywhere with technology and the way everybody can just talk to each other and do what we're doing right now, and being who we are is what made this happen. This right here is us not being afraid to reach out to each other and notice that, hey, you're supporting me right now, like, with all your intent, and I'm going to pay that back tenfold and support you and contact you and reach out to you and build the community even stronger, and build this brotherhood, sisterhood, and et cetera, and just keep this music going, and it has. I mean, these people are still listening to these demo songs that we put out for so long ago, as if they were, and now as if they came out yesterday or something. And I'm just like, wow, like, this is insane. So I mean, again, it's about the support and the love and the growth, and everybody supporting each other and understanding that no matter what the music is, it's music bringing people together, whether you like it or not. There's nothing but love in the most brutal, hateful, You know, it just doesn't like, it just love is still there. It doesn't matter like how brutal the show is or, you know, how insane the band is. There's just like, there's just still an underlying love of,
I'll almost argue there's more love there than anywhere else.
Yeah. I think that something that happened also back then is because I genuinely believe that you guys were ahead of your time and you were doing something very different from anyone else. And what happened when you do something different, a lot of stuff people are not ready for that. And when the whole deathcore, whatever thing was beginning, as much as people were open, they were also not very open. People had expectations of you need to do this and this kind of vocals and this thing. So haters are very loud, right? Unfortunately, that's kind of how it is. So it might have seemed like a lot of people were hating on what you guys were doing, but those who were getting it, like myself, those people who were so happy and like finally something different, you know, like when I heard these gutturals, I didn't even know you could do that. I was like, what is that? Like, what's this? So I feel like what happened over the years is that even if in the beginning these haters were so loud, more and more fans like myself and people who were getting it, they were loyal, right? Like they kept loving it and trying. And nowadays where people are connected, we see it more. So I feel like these people always been there, but the haters were maybe a little louder back then, but now it's the love that's louder. And I keep saying it, and it might be extremely cheesy, but love always win in the long run. It's always stronger than hate because it's coming from fear and all that. And not to be too spiritual here, but I just want to say, I feel like that's what happened. People were not understanding and getting what you guys were doing maybe. But those who did were extremely, you know, passionate about it. That's kind of my take on it, at least.
No, it's a great take. It's always going to come with doing something different, and when you don't understand something, or you apply, you know, whatever you got going on in your life, maybe you're not happy or whatever, you're just going to push that onto whatever's going on. And it could be music, could be any kind of artwork at that time, you know. I think we're all guilty by judging things too hard, and it's usually just based off your mood. You know, I know many times I'm guilty of it myself in life, just listening to something and then judging it in a certain way and then coming off too hard about it and then listening to it again at a different point in time and being like, this is amazing. You know, so, you know, like,
why was I sleeping? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You know, it happens. I mean, I'm not going to get on a whole rant really about hatred and fan base and hatred, you know, like, it is what it is. If you don't like the music, nobody's forcing you to listen to it. So that's, you know, just keep your fucking mouth shut. You know?
No, but that's true. Yeah. And I think you have a point also, like so many times outside of music, even like my favorite show of all time is The Office, and I wasn't watching it simply because I heard so many people talking about it. I was like, I don't know. And the second I really gave it a chance, I was like, that's so freaking cool. So sometimes it's just a matter of...
Now he can't shut the fuck up about it.
Yes, I'm talking about it all the time.
Yeah.
I talk about it all the freaking time. But I think that happens in music as well. Like when I did the video about you guys, right? When I did the Waking a Cadaver video, I was looking at the comments and lots of people were saying that back then they were hating on it, but now they think it's freaking awesome, and it grew up on them. So that definitely happens more than we think. A lot of people at first they hate something and then they're fan of it.
There's a whole new wave and a whole new crop of bands doing a lot more similar style to what you guys have done over the years. That's like as big as ever right now, you know, arguably. So I think that definitely helps probably in 2024. You know, I'd be curious for you, you know, how you kind of perceive it. Like, is there anything in the, you know, kind of resurgence of like the slam and kind of the deathcore slam style that a lot of people are into now? Like, do you feel like that's affecting much of the band right now in terms of like how you guys are perceived?
Well, yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of the same going on right now in that regard. I feel like there's it's a little bit saturated from
for sure.
You know what I mean? So it's nice to see these other talented artists come out and find a new way of doing things, a new approach, a new avenue for people to check out, and then flourish down that avenue and keep breaking down the boundaries on what you can and cannot do. And this leads me directly into what I was going to talk about. It is, in fact, that finding your way and understanding that you just need to be yourself and bring whatever it is to the table and not be afraid to express that. And it doesn't matter what you sound like, how you're doing it, inhale, exhale, no hail, you know, all hails,
out of the ears, like whatever it takes.
Yeah, whatever you got to do, it doesn't matter, So this brings me to what I wanted to say here. One sec. I think also ties into the longevity of waking, and gutturals themselves are very timeless, in a fact, where when you're just sounding like another guitar plugged in at an abstract level of just another noise to chime into the rest that is just ridiculously aggressive, it on this abstract artistic level, that it seems like early on only stoners really got that hint. I feel like that's just what it was, like if you're stoned and listening to Waking, you were like, all right, this is the shit. So you're really there's no words, right? So you're just applying what you have on your mind, almost, or what you're going through, or how you feel. Or you get the luxury of taking out judgment with this artistic approach, the stylistic approach. You get so much to gain. This is why I feel like these two demo songs have not left the scene, regardless. I feel like you are making an application to the songs and putting things there in a sense of what you want to hear. And I really thought about this for a long period of time, and because I really couldn't understand. I said, "Come on now, this come on now."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How is it that my first songs,
it doesn't make any sense, really. So it's got to be on some other shit, where you're really just like, I don't even want. I want heavy, right? I want as catchy, heavy, groovy as it can be, or, however many bands can do that, kick ass, we're doing it our way. We're doing it early days with a lot of China cymbal, a lot of crunk, a lot of beat down. And, we really worshiped so many guttural bands, there's so many sick bands back in the day. It was a much smaller scene, and we were just doing our thing. We were looking to just do what we were doing, play a couple local shows, but it's in its own world, if you will. And it even made, it's gone to the point where people, I forget their names, they're not that important to me, because of what they said, I don't really, so I don't know, some guy out there said, we ruined death metal or something like this. So I was like, whatever, if it went that far, it's obviously did a lot more, and it obviously did change something. You can't make a statement, that's not a lie right there, so
he was still listening. Ultimately.
Right.
Talking about it.
Right. I've seen a lot of big time mainstream people even mention Waking, and I'm like, I don't even understand why, but I maybe they know they know deep down inside that the band has a lot of traction and has has brought with it an entire generation right at this point. These kids, the comeback show, we had this kid, and he's like, I just found out about you 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, wow, that is insane. And this kid was young, you know, like he was at the show.
That's what surprises us the most.
Yeah, no,
with this show as well, right? Because we were convinced that we were only going to be watched by 30-plus-year-olds, and all of a sudden we realized, wait, there's like 16-year-olds discovering all this music that we used to listen to and still love to this day, but they're discovering it for the first time, and it's like a good portion of our demographic, you know? And so it's, you know, to your point, and kind of like some of these things live on, right? Like some of these things are timeless. And I think music in of itself, you know, like even rougher productions or like things that maybe sound outdated, perhaps, even that sort of stuff ends up finding an audience again, like 20 years later and stuff like that.
Sure.
It's always cool to see.
You know, when I was doing the video also, I was reading those reviews, and I resisted to, you know, talk to these people because I was kind of pissed. But, you know, like the old death metal heads, like just being pissed because it's different and stuff like that. It always blew my mind because to me, metal is supposed to be this place for outsiders and people who think outside the box and stuff like that. And then, you know, some people are trying to bring up rules, like unwritten rules. And I'm like, there's no rules, like there's no guideline. There's no, like, it's heavy music. If you don't like it, it's fine. But to say something in my mind, saying something like ruining death metal is what would ruin death metal. Saying stuff like that is ruining way more than any people doing music, right? So I think what happened with Waking, I could be wrong, but I think what happened with Waking is in death metal, people were judging your music quite severely. But in deathcore kids like myself, who were looking for straight up the most heaviest thing on the planet, it really resonated. You know, I don't know if you remember like Annotation and Autopsy and those bands, but like, it was kind of in, you know, like it created this huge fan base of more open-minded people. And next thing you know, we're still around today. So it goes to say that even if you try blocking something, like the fans and the love is always just going to overtake it on the long term. So, you know, it doesn't matter really. And as Dom mentioned, these guys were still talking about you, doing reviews and exposing new people to your music. So there you go.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. They say there's no such thing as a hater. Just like, you know, they're just another fan. You know, like maybe even more extreme than the fan themselves. True. You know, to some degree.
Talking about you guys even more than the fans are.
Yes. Right. You don't like the band so much. You were on. You know, really.
But you talk about it every day, so
it's a pretty toxic relationship if you ask me. But hey, to each their own, you know.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. I'd be curious to know if it got to you guys. Like, I don't know if it's too personal to ask, but like, do you remember if back then when you released music and you saw like those reviews in your mind, was it just like, I don't care, we're gonna do our thing, or was it like, you know, kind of hard to take like, you know, these comments? I'm just curious of how it went.
I'd also like to just add to that. I think especially going through some of your older stuff and the way you guys would write about the band, I think there was inherently, and it's kind of like a part of the lore of the band, I guess, but there was a big part of it that was like confidence, like this overconfidence of like our shit is the best, and like, you know, like fuck the haters, like, you know, like I have this one thing that I had pulled up here. It was like off of the forum. It was like reviews versus fans. Some people are really upset that we are moving forward and progressing and still loving what we do no matter what. Well, too fucking bad. Signed by you. You know, like, so I think there was maybe like a bit of a persona maybe that was added to that, or maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but to Jan's point, I'd still be curious, like maybe deep down, you know, like, is it something that was affecting you still, despite maybe the image you guys were putting forward, or was that like truly authentic? I'm curious.
Yeah, I would say that everything is pretty authentic because we just shoot it straight off the cuff over here. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not playing around. People don't like things. Again, you're not seeing the bigger picture of the music. And that's sometimes you got to stick up for yourself. You can't take the grenades all the time, So sometimes me, or maybe in the very beginning, you have I was always older than these guys, obviously, and looking at it now, because I've thought about this, is all it did was really upset a bunch of guys that were trying to do something, fun for themselves and make crazy music. And these were young guys at the time, 16-year-olds, trying to put forth everything they got, and then people just like come and just shit on you. And it's like, well, that's sticking up for your friends in a sense as well. And who cares if we have a big mouth? And yeah, we're cocky about our fucking music. That's why we fucking playing it.
Yeah.
I'm not playing it because I don't want to fucking listen to it. Like, what are we talking? Like, what, it doesn't make any sense. Like, we're going to back each other up. People stick up for each other, stick up for yourself. And if we pop off at the mouth, whatever the fuck ever,
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right?
It is what it is. It's not fake,
Yeah.
I don't. It's
no, but that's cool. I mean, I think it still takes like a certain amount of balls, though, right? Like, yes. I think sure. You still, maybe it's a bit more of a thing in the like death metal scene, but I mean, I don't think it's widely like spread. Like, I don't think most bands have that sort of attitude online, right? Like maybe people now are just like soft, and don't want to upset anyone or whatever. And it's all a PR thing to not be mean towards one another. But I still think like even back in the day, like I think most bands aren't like outwardly like forward with like being like super into their own band. It's almost like like being fake humble, I guess. Like, I don't know like how to put it, but
I love it. I love being into my band. That's, if you think I'd be doing it this long if I wasn't into it, like I'm not gonna
be pretty fucking miserable. So.
Yeah. I mean, this is not a job for me. This is not a job whatsoever. This is still a hobby. This is still having fun with my friends. I've made even more friends than I could possibly imagine. In and out of the band, the networking has been incredible. Merchandising is incredible and still going very strong. There's just opportunities at every angle with this now. Things that I never thought were possible with a band, and there's so much. There's just so much. There's so much for everybody. And we'll get to that with the new members and new lineup changes that again I'm still enduring. And that's just what it is. Again, it's a very fine line and very easy to sometimes just say, I'm done.
Right, like fuck it. I'm over this.
Yeah, fuck it.
Not worth it type thing.
It'd be easier for sure.
It's so much easier. Yeah, it's so much easier. But when I look back on what the accomplishments are just by literally making sure I'm having a good time with my friends, making music, number one. And then all of a sudden there's this fan base that gives a shit worldwide, getting tattoos on their faces, all over their bodies, in every country, and show full support. There's, four albums, supported by, Necroharmonic, Amputated Vein, Gutter Christ Productions, Unique Leader Records. It's ourselves for self-support. Early days when we're all DIY with the OG crew. And I have to say, Gutter Christ has been there since the early days and supported us,
right? Yeah,
and he really helped us out and got us with Roy from Necroharmonic Records, and it was nice to be welcomed into the scene that way. And I
was listening to an interview with Mike, and he was saying how he thought that Gutter Christ was actually in the band before he joined.
A lot of people think that. He was on tour. Yeah, he was always on tour with us and stuff like that, and helping us do merch. And yes, being a good friend and a good supporter of the scene, and
still is, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah, absolutely, yeah. He's flourishing, and Too Many Blunts, and all, all his projects are flourishing big time, and again, it's about working with all sorts of artistic people. After a while, it's obviously, you guys know, it's not just music. You're dealing with now videographers and designers of all kinds and projects of all weights and sizes, and it's all interconnected with music, and it's brought everybody together during this journey. Waking has connected many facets of people, and it's fantastic. It's
a universe, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. It's a total universe, and I'm grateful every day for everybody and everything. And this band has brought forth and ushered so much into so many people's lives. Apparently, this is not something that I was thinking either. I mean, there's just so many things on so many levels that are just like, if I were to sit and think about this journey, it's just like, wow, man. I mean, if you didn't come along and start making these videos and really paying it some mind, you're missing out on this experience that only you would know if you were living through this time period, and what technology has changed through social media in a time where nobody, was really giving a shit about anything online. That wasn't what we were doing with our lives, and now it's where the whole world resides, unfortunately. So we
us doing this right now is kind of case in point to that.
Yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah, it has. I mean, this is what it is. But I'm being a little bit dramatic with saying that.
No, times are different for sure. It's a whole different vibe.
They're different. Yeah. Here we are doing this, but I'm fortunate we're able to do things like this, and this is exactly the point. Is Waking comes in at this pivotal moment on a platform that everybody's using, and it's almost like a free-for-all for people who can write code and know how to share and get things done. I was one of those people. I was on there. I was making it happen. I'm just having fun. Again, you were
doing web design early on, right?
Yeah.
Do you still do some of that stuff?
Yeah. I do web design, cool. Web development, animation, all of it, UI design. And that grows too. And there's that avenue that comes into play with it. And again, everything's just so interconnected universe, and then now here we are years later, and it's just blows my mind, and everything is in such high demand now, and the offers are coming in all over the world to book the band, and we're trying to meet the demands as much as possible. So that's like, something we'll be playing now.
And this is true, by the way, right? Because I just looking back on like some of the posts you guys were making, like, you're not just saying this. Like, I would see like, okay, we want to come to Europe, book us. And then it gets booked, right? And then it's same thing with Asia, right? It's like, hey, we want to come to Asia, book us. And then there's, lo and behold, a month later, there's a whole list of shows that you guys have agreed to and are actually going to. So, I mean, the hype is there, right? Like the demand is there for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, it goes beyond, I guess, the streaming numbers and what like most people would consider, like the metrics that most people go by nowadays, right? Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, we're not on here hustling. I think I like not having to do that. We're present. We're here for the music. We're not, and that's it. That you're just going to hear about us, about our progress in music. And when we notify you of something, you can show up or I'll see you next time.
Yeah, that's it.
But the offers are coming in hot, and it's fun to play this new album that we put out. It went a little bit under the radar because of COVID, you know.
Yeah,
we have to talk about this at least real quick because honestly,
we swap gears. I mean,
no, but I just want to at least briefly say that
about it.
Yeah, but specifically also we've had multiple guests on this show where we've had this conversation where we end up talking about waking for one reason or another, and almost every single time the guests will say that last album that they put out, criminally underrated. It's so fucking good. And I couldn't agree more. Like personally, like I this is just me. I don't know how you feel about it or Yan or whatever, but it's my favorite stuff you guys have put out by far. It is so fucking good, man.
Thanks, man.
Same thing for me. Like this, I think I sent that to you the other day, right? I was playing it in my car. Like every time I take my car, that's the album playing in it. It's almost funny. Like every time my friends are in my car, they're like, "Really? You're still just that's what I'm listening to." And I think I even made a little short video when I said like top underrated album. I think it was part of it, but like I really, when I clicked play and you did like a sick video too, right? Like it was, this video was awesome. And I don't know, it from start to finish, there's not one single,
unrelenting. Yeah.
or just like boring. Like there's no filler is what I'm trying to say. Like it's just, you know, it feels like you guys sat down and like, let's put all the good parts together and build something like super sick. That's how I'm perceiving it. And as Dom said, like many of our guests, you know, in big bands and stuff like that they keep saying, yeah, it's underrated, it's super cool, and giving you guys credit and stuff. So I wanted to add that, but it would be nice to have your perspective on it. Yeah, for sure.
Well, okay, so it's actually Mike Mayo can basically take all the credit on that album. It's his brainchild, and if it weren't for him writing that during his busy lifestyle that he was in, which is incredible that he was able to do something like this. He wrote all the lyrics. He wrote all the whole thing. You know, it's
okay.
So it happened to take a little bit of extra time, but for someone to pull that off during this horrible worldwide, you know, chaotic time, and still keep everything on point so the band can grow and continue. I had to make some decisions and bring in Lord Marco, you know, a little bit transition period there, and I'm very grateful for him. He and I go back, you know.
Incredible person to have on the team.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think that was a good move.
Yeah. I mean, I love every fucking person who's come into this band with all my heart, and they know it. And everybody who is still coming and going, I appreciate them so much. It's their lifelong brothers. And doesn't matter if we have any fucking differences or whatever the fuck ever. It is what it is, and there's nobody can change that. And I feel like I've had, you know, so many wild times with this band, just with the changing of members. There's been a lot that went on. There was a lot of things that people had to deal with all around. A lot of things in the background that were going on, and things are again what they are sometimes, and life changes for people, and I can't expect Waking the Cadaver to be top priority in people's lives all the time. You know, that's not a reality check. So I mean, the fact that anybody who wants to contribute their time right now to this machine that it is now, this band, but it's more than a band at this point, in my opinion. It's I don't even know what it is. It's just it's a whole entity. And sometimes
with the legacy and baggage and all of these things.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like it's bigger than me. It's bigger than anybody in it. It doesn't matter anymore. Waking the Cadaver is now this giant thing, and you could feel this thing. and this energy, let's just call it that. And it's you could feel this. You could feel it in the room. You could feel it. And you could see it in these kids' eyes. You can feel it in the air. It's just like an atmosphere. And then when you listen to this, you're like, holy shit, And that's not me like trying to put a feather in my hat. Like, I'm extremely judgmental on myself and hard on myself, and give myself all the judgment. Trust me. But when sometimes you want to appreciate yourself, which isn't a bad thing.
Right.
You put on, you take off the hatred, and you indulge in what your talent and creativity is for just a little while, and that feels good. So anybody who wants to contribute to this energy right now, I am super grateful for, and I couldn't be thankful enough for anybody and anyone who's come in and out, even for long or short, and has made their mark in life with me, and growing their world, and getting that experience. I can remember early days when we were traveling for the first time to Europe. This was such. This was out of control. This is fucking not even possible. This is brutal death metal. This is as underground as it could possibly be. How are we on a tour bus right now? How is it happening multiple times? And then I'm playing with some of my bands I grew up listening to.
This has got to be it, right? Like, there's
I'm
got to be our last one, right? Like, this is a joke, guys, right?
Yeah, it is. It just doesn't feel real, and I'm like, this is insane. I don't take it for granted for a second. So to get to my point is like these men who came into this band and helped contribute to this growing community now. I have a lot of love and respect for, and for Marco to come in and also contribute with his incredible, talent. It also means a lot to me, and I always wanted to create something with this machine, and I was
quite literally machine.
Yeah, literally, and I'm just, he's such a great person, Mike Mayo as well. Everybody's just insane on this album as a human, and their talent level was brought to these extremes in their life, and I was pushing myself to some limits, doing things at some other rate. In frequency, and that felt really good. Probably the most diverse
you've been on an album. Let's be honest.
Truly, yeah,
it's
truly.
Very, very diverse from your part.
Yeah, I thank you. I feel like I like to be diverse. I don't like to be the same all the time, and that's just me. It's just how I like to do it. People may like something else, and there's something else out there for them. I like to do things a little bit different now, and I'm trying different techniques, and you'll hear them on these projects that I'm working on, and you'll hear this talent shift gears, if you will, and move into these different regions. And I feel like that's important too, for anybody to want to grow as an artist of any kind, and really just not be afraid to just do what you want to do. And that's the only thing I could say that has ever gotten this band vocally where it is just, who cares what people think? Do what you want to do, and as long as you like it, that's all that really matters. And I feel like that has now flourished into obviously what it is now, a ton of bands that are basically doing the same thing and doing it their way, and there couldn't be anything more humbling,
Yeah, there's something I want to bring up, because I think it would be a good place. Like you talked about the members and stuff. I think it would probably be a good place to talk about, new members and stuff like that. But before that, there's something I've noticed. The energy at the shows that Waking the Cadaver is, I wasn't there myself, and I wish I would.
I can attest. I can attest.
Yeah, it's unmatched. Like, I'm looking, if you take a look at modern bands playing, the only thing you see in the crowd most of the time is cell phones in the air. If you look at your shows, people are there and they're going freaking crazy. Like, I don't know if it's a perception, outside perception, but like from what I'm seeing, your fans are going as crazy as they were like 15 years ago or something. And it's not the case for many bands. Let me tell you that much. I've seen like, big bands and stuff like that. And most people are, some of them are going crazy. But if you look at your crowd, everyone's going crazy, going nuts, and at least like jumping or, like yelling and stuff.
Yeah. I feel like everybody's having a good time, to be honest with you. Fights will happen when they happen. That's what it is. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of energy. I'm putting forth a ton of energy.
It's a two-way thing, right?
Yeah. You have this, it's back and forth, and it becomes this spiral, and literally people start mosh pitting in this energy and going around and around and around. It's literally a vortex of energy you're watching, and these fans are so excited. You're watching excitement, in raw real time. I think, nobody wants their cell phone smashed. They're not taking it out, They're just, that would be my thing. I would just be like, I'm putting this away.
It's fucking $900. Like, I'm out.
I'm not doing it. Yeah, they're having a great time, and I feel like the internet now has it's now a thing. Kids are really trying to stage dive like as hard as they fucking can off this stage, and I'm like, holy shit, this kid's gonna like fucking kill himself, and he doesn't really care. Like, it looks like he does not care about his life, anybody else's life. Nobody matters at that point. But having like this over the top extreme mental state happening.
It's truly in the moment type thing.
Yeah, it's really in the moment. I mean, and I appreciate that. I always have. Everybody, I put up a lot of videos from it's on my YouTube channel of some old shit from 2010. That was probably the most touring we did in the States and Canada. We did Canada.
That's when I saw you guys.
Yeah, cool. And that was a long time ago, but it was still very supported, and they were nuts then, and I'm growing up from a scene too where people went nuts like that, so I'm trying to bring to the stage presence area too, and the stage performance and the sound and the energy and all this that I grew up on. And when I was watching bands and they were really bringing in, I mean, I was like, studying it, I didn't even realize it, you're just like, this is sick. This is what I'm into, that never dies.
Yeah.
Like, this shit fucking rules. I want to be like that guy, if I could,
Randy was a big influence, right?
Yeah.
I think I've heard you talk about him, especially for a stage presence type thing.
Yeah. I grew up listening to all the new metal bands, to the early, metalcore. Lamb of God was just breaking out. I was listening to a lot of underground brutal death metal. Listening to anything and everything that was just super, super, super extreme in any genre. It didn't matter what it was. For me, if it sounds good, it is good. So I'm just gonna go listen to anything I could that I thought was heavy as shit. And
sometimes not heavy. I see influences here on the Death to Honor website. I see influences: Lamb of God, Frank Sinatra.
Well, yeah, of course. yeah.
Great voice, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely. The whole band has always encompassed a great musical talent too, which nobody really knows. People always play multiple instruments, and for what people think Waking was created from is just like, people who are trying to play something that's not talented, so to speak. Everybody was just mega talented, in my opinion, and maybe even like severely ahead of their time, and that only comes from being influenced from people, right? So we're nobody
different stuff, right? Like not just listening to the genre you guys are trying to play.
Yeah. We listen to hardcore, beatdown, Jersey beatdown, E-Town, Concrete. We're listening to some real heavy hitter shit over here, and then you have your mainstream shit that's going on, and you just take all this in, just like everybody's doing now. Everybody's taking it in, filtering it. Okay, now I'm going to do that like this.
Your own take on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all anybody's doing. It's all anybody ever will do. You're not doing anything new at this point. You're just doing it different. It's already been done, and that's okay. People want to play what they want to play it. You're doing what you want to do. It doesn't matter if it's been done 1,000 times. If it's saturated, well, yeah, there's an up and down to that, but there's also something about why it's saturated.
Yeah, right.
So,
people are loving it apparently.
You got to support that. Yeah, I mean, deathcore, and all these labels, which really, there's so many now. Like there's this, there's that.
The subgenres have gotten pretty fucking deep nowadays.
I know. So that's why I was glad we were some good marketing guys back in the day. To be honest, we were like
slamming gore groove. That was from the very beginning, right?
Yeah, we're just gonna pivot.
Don't call us anything else. This is what we do.
We're just gonna pivot into our own world and stay there. And it's slam, but we're doing it our way, and that's what it's called there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but I can tell you have many influence because like there's definitely some hardcore roots in waking, right? Like I mean the parts like when you do your big excels, like super like I hear like a hardcore tone, and those slam parts, and that's awesome. That's what I feel like a big part of your head going like that in slam kind of comes from hardcore, and the big part. So that's kind of why it clicked with so many people also. And I think you made a good point also with the, people just trying to do it their way, not necessarily reinventing, but that's the beauty of it. You don't really need to reinvent something as long as you do it uniquely, like in your own way. It's going to resonate with some people. It's as long as you're not afraid of just straight up being yourself. If something is weird, like some part is weird, but you like it, just stand by it and release it. I think that's the important, part. And you guys always did that, I think. So
yeah. There's been a lot of people again coming and putting forth their take on what Waking the Cadaver is. And,
I think that's what's kept it fresh and interesting, right? Like listening through the discography, like every single album has like some fairly different elements to them or style of production or style of songwriting. And even yourself, you can see like the evolutions and the transitions and different vocal styles from album to album. And I think some artists get really stuck in just doing the same thing over and over again, and to each their own. But I think I've always appreciated that in Waking specifically. And as we were talking earlier, like this latest one that you guys put out is to me my favorite, and it's got elements in there that make it so that it's my favorite of the bunch, right? That weren't necessarily there on previous albums. So I think it's always like kind of that, right? I'm sure there's a lot to do with member changes and stuff like that. But to your point, people contributing and having their own take on it, but also you being open to it, right? Because band members that have been around could just say, no, we want to continue doing this thing. Let's not move too far away from what we were already doing, type thing, right?
Yeah, that can happen. But for us, Mike Mayo has driven the sound in many ways. John Hartman has driven the sound. Rob Wharton has driven the sound.
I didn't know he was in the band at some point before doing some research on this. I didn't, because I've met Rob before. He's booked an old band of mine before in Jersey, but I didn't know he was a part of Waking at some point.
Yep, there's been many.
Yeah,
but that's okay. It's like it's what it is, and anybody who wanted to use this as their vehicle to write and shine, they have all the opportunity to do so. So, and I feel like that's important. People want to shine and feel like this is everything I got.
Right.
And
feel to be a part of something, not just like a bystander.
Yeah, and I always felt like everybody. It was never really like a one-way street. Really, everybody was able to contribute. And I feel like that's why things change, at least with us, because nobody, especially myself, I was not trying to run it like, at least, I don't know. It's hard because, Dennis Morgan, the drummer, did a lot of writing.
Yeah.
He really contributed a lot to the sound. He had a vision. I had a vision. Everybody had a vision to bring to the table, and it was allowed to be brought to the table, and it was allowed to be discussed, and it was allowed to be applied. And that was the formula for us. It wasn't like you're in my band or I'm the writer, and you just sit there and I tell you what to do, and that's what we're doing. And that's how it will.
To be fair, a lot of bands are like that.
Yes.
I'm
sure.
There's like the mastermind, and that's kind of it. My way or the highway type thing.
I think you're limiting yourself when you do that, though. I just want to put it out there.
For sure, but I just like to point out that that's that is a reality with a lot of people, and it takes a lot of open-mindedness from everyone involved to do it your way, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. If people have to write a certain formula and a specific sound for a specific reason, that's your business. If that's, what you want to do, that's what you want to do. And maybe that works for you, to each his own. Maybe the other people just don't care enough to write or are good at playing, but not really great at the creativity level. That's okay. If somebody's willing to do it, that's great. There's sometimes you need to rely on the strongest person to get things done that way. That's what Mike Mayo did for us. He knew deep down inside what had to get done. He brought it and guided us. This is the first time I've ever gone into a studio cold, not knowing the lyrics, not even knowing all the songs, and just
fully trusting type,
just totally getting fully produced. This is how I want you to sound. This is what I want you to say. This is how I want you to do it, and no ifs, ands, or buts really about it. And this is what I have in my head. This is the time I already have invested, and this is what we're going to manifest. And let's go. And that's it. And so that's why there's. It's everybody contributing. Marco had come and just contribute as much as he can in a very short amount of time. You're really saving the band too. Things had to change nonstop yet again with the lineup. Michael Thomas, bass player, been through hell and high water with him with Asia tours and touring around the world, having to deal with. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, we had to deal with a lot of shit together that we went through that were unexpected, foreseen issues for traveling. And there was some very stressful times. And, there's times you have to really rely on each other to get through different things when things go down. So it's also, again, being that tight brotherhood through the music can get you through.
Brotherhood was the exact word that came to mind when you were saying that.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's
just
what
other
it is.
people that you can fully rely on, and get through shit together.
Yeah, it goes with the writing, but for whatever reason, there's other times that when you're traveling or what have you, we all need to rely on each other sometimes. Rely on yourself. You can rely on yourself, but at certain points to get things done when they have to get done, somebody has to step up. And I wasn't able to contribute anything to the last except my performance, and that's it. I had an issue where I was stuck in Germany during COVID, and I couldn't get home for 8 months. And I had a herniated L4 disc, and then it ruptured, and then I couldn't get home. So I was in a lot of pain, to say the least. And I had my own shit going on in life. So, when the things that people don't know about that are going on behind the scenes are heavy with this band and the band members sometimes in life. And, that's why I put so much weight on saying, look, you really need to tip your hat to Mike and Marco and Michael. I did not contribute.
I mean, the performance itself, is a super huge. Like to be fair, to give you a little credit here, like it's awesome that you say that, but like, I mean, it's still a super big part of what it is, right?
Still a one of a kind performance,
Sure.
whether it was orchestrated by yourself or not, right?
No, totally, and that it felt good to also put your trust in your friend who knows his brutal death metal and music, as a whole very well, and there's just a lot of trust, and it was easy though. When I'm like saying this is a hard idea or something, it was just it was nice to just say, cool, I'm sure it's going to be fucking killer, bro, let's go. Like I had that fucking luxury. That's insane. That only comes with a brotherhood experience. That's trust. That's not like, shit, what am I getting into right now? What did he do?
We're talking about like 7-8 years past the last album also, right? Like it's not like there was like
it's wild.
A recent idea to think of, like to maybe reassure you, like, oh, the latest album we did last year was cool. So, it's like a whole unknown at that point. People change so much musically and in their talent and even in tastes and stuff like that. So it still is, I'm sure, like a bit of a leap of faith to fully trust, right?
I feel
so long later.
I feel like the trust, like we've talked about this, but I feel like there's this big attraction thing. Like you attract people like yourself. So like you've always been real with people, right? Always been honest with people during the band. So I really feel like you attracted similar kind of, like, obviously I don't know all of them personally, but I would bet that they shared similar values and they were ready to give as much as you were ready to give. So it's kind of this, authentic relationship that might seem logical, but it's not everyone that, can experience that, to say the very least. Like
it's true. It's true.
Depends on, you need to be, you can feel really vulnerable by putting yourself completely out there, right? Being your 100% authentic self. Sometimes it's way harder than just putting on a facade, like a mask, right? So, and I feel like we live in a world where it's almost, without being negative, it's all, well, I'm still going to be negative, but whatever. It's still encouraged a little bit to portray what you want to be as opposed to be what you are. So I feel like, since you always stayed true to yourself, you also attracted people that did the same and wanted to give you the same kind of things you were giving to them. From my perspective, it's kind of
that's it. No, absolutely right. We manifest what we think, and this is not rocket science. This is a known fucking fact. It's 2024. Get your head on right. Get your shit together. Get your fucking head on straight. Start doing the right fucking thing. Quit being a chando.
Yeah, it's and honestly, it's quite it can be scary to fully be yourself and expose yourself in that way, but at the same time, it's very liberating because it must be exhausting to be something you're not all the time. It must be horrible. So like, but it's not necessarily an easy thing. But ever since I personally accepted myself, I've, like, my whole circle in life changed. Like now I'm surrounded by people who, are real and really. So you attract what you are. That's just.
Absolutely.
That's just how it is.
Absolutely, man. Everybody's on the same frequency. And I can tell you right now, two band members in the band right now are completely on the same page as me, with the mindset of, what the fucking deal is, you know what I mean? To put it bluntly and short and sweet. And you either know or you don't know. And when you're in the know, you're able to do things at a whole other level. And I'm just going to keep it at that. But yeah, everybody is right now in my world because they're literally where I'm at and what I'm vibing with. And that goes for yourself. That goes for my collaborations I'm doing right now that are manifesting with some big time people in the scene. some of the things I can't even talk about. Some of the things I want to talk about just yet. They're still being worked on. But it's incredible. Again, the opportunities that have come with this band, and again, that could only happen by me just being myself. Doing my artistic approach, stylistic approach, how I want, and joining my friends to have a good time and write heavy shit with no other intent, right? So there's the intent set, and what came back was tenfold. You have no idea what you're in for. And I'm not saying my band is fucking huge ass band, but I'm saying that that it feels like it's a fucking huge ass band because it's being paid back in that level. And I did not see that coming. I did not ever really think like that. It has always been from the heart and from the support and from families and friends and playing shows and hard work and getting through the hard times and constantly writing and doing, 3-hour band practices minimum, balls to the wall, show style. And again, still always having a good time writing. I feel like, without going too crazy on a tangent, is like writing music is probably the most incredible thing that you can do ever, no matter what you are, who you are, where you are. You can create this. It is such a magical thing. It is such an incredible thing to experience, to be with your friends with that kind of energy, and then add creation on top of it, manifestation, thought, all at once into a musical instrument and say, hey, bro, check this out. That's what that's the good word. That's the shit. Doesn't get any fucking better than that in life. And to witness this and to know that I get to contribute to this gives me goosebumps on a whole other level because I'm changing my frequency just by fucking speaking about such things. and this is what it's about. And that's why people won't give up music. They won't ever do it. Once you get it, it's like
keep coming back.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Come back in some other band with another name, with another title. It doesn't matter. Just keep fucking keep doing it.
Collaborations, whatever it is.
Right. It'll just keep manifesting. It doesn't matter. You want to do what you want to do, it will happen because you just want to do it, and that's what you're here to do, is to create. Doesn't matter what it is, just be the creator that you are, and make music, make art. Do what you feel passionate about doing, and I feel like passion is the only thing you can't deny. You can't deny it in anything. You can't deny it when you're writing music. I feel like that's why you feel this type of music so much. You can feel the heart, you can feel the passion, you can feel this drive. It's not, it's raw, it's not stale.
Without understanding lyrics, right? It's visceral, it's primal, it's
energy.
Yep, that's all it is, right? So again, this is why it's at some other level in my head, because it's like this. When you really want to do the time and invest the analytics, you are blown away, and there's nothing. I am speechless about how I feel about this band, and what it's doing to my life and what kind of legacy it's leaving behind. I'm so humbled, and to see the support from people around the world, from people living in the jungle, from people living in cities, to people of all shapes, sizes, colors, demographics, genders. It does not matter. There has been support, and I couldn't be more grateful and blessed and happy as fuck about it. The people in the band are phenomenal people. What we're doing right now is absolutely incredible, and I really look forward to people hearing what we have in store.
Very excited. Very excited.
Yeah. This is really what's on the table right now, is this high demand to say, hey, what else? Let's give us something else, you know? And
Good. Like, would it be fair also, like, because I keep every conversation I have, because as you know, I love talking about spirituality and mindset and stuff like that. And I feel like gratefulness is key to everything. If you're being grateful and you appreciate what you have, like all the simple things you have, like just waking up is a freaking miracle. And like, if you live your life like that and you keep, you know, kind of thanking the universe for the people you have around and stuff like that, like with that kind of mindset, ever since I changed my life like that, great things have been happening, amazing things have been happening. And I feel like, would it be fair to say that you've been in that mindset for a pretty long time now, right?
Yeah, long time. I'm spiritual for a long time, more than people really think, because I let it be known at some point. This is who I am, you know. So yeah, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other podcast. But yeah, it's definitely brought upon another layer of the journey. You know, that's part of the experience of all this too, you know, going in these other worlds of creativity, and it flourishes into, you know, a side project which brings on X, Y, and Z, or a collaboration with friends I didn't know I was even going to have in life. You know, meeting up with 9 Dead Guys was
that's what I had in mind.
Cool.
Yeah. Really great guys. Really appreciative of them, and you know that's something that had come about just by being somebody who's like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Tell me when, I'll be there. I'll support the community, no problem here. Not looking for any strings attached.
And they're very grateful too. Like every conversation I have with them, they're like, "Hey, like waking, you know, like
they're the coolest fucking dudes."
Oh my god, yeah, they're so amazing. Like you feel their energy right away. You're like 5 seconds talking to them, I'm like, I could take a beer with them. I would be friend with them within 5 seconds, something like that. Like just this beautiful, like I think we can feel that, right? When someone has no, you know, bad intention whatsoever, we can kind of feel that kind of good art and energy. Like as you said, everything is energy. And I wanted to answer to something you said also earlier. You said that you know, it feels like it's a super big band, even though, you know, it's not like the biggest band or whatever. Like, I feel like that's something that you can't really measure. Like, how would you say that in English?
Measure.
Yeah. Okay. My French here kind of took over. As many, you know, as pretty much every time I talk. But yeah, so, you know, a room of 30 people can be more powerful than millions in another room if they're not connected as much. So you probably feel this way because this vibe and this vibration and energy and that you get is stronger than the number. Does that make sense? Like I feel like
like if there's a true cult following, you know, I think it'd be fair to call it that, you know, around waking for sure, you know.
I would say so. The fans have proven that. So it's growing. So I mean, I 100% agree. I would say if I was operating on any other frequency, I'd be drawing in something else than what I have. And everybody gets to share that, right? So it's the brotherhood. So if I am bringing something in, somebody else gets a gain and a frequency shift and a high to experience, and can add that to their journey in life. And this will go to somebody else in some other way, shape, or form. And it's just great to see, you know, it's great to create with people and see what that's going to be like, you know, when that's can only come from never giving up on yourself, never quitting, you know, take a break, but, you know, never really throwing the towel. So, you know, it feels good to see things pay off in a big way now and be able to move forward still with this machine and keep it steamrolling, you know.
I'd be also curious because you mentioned Nine Dead, and an amazing collaboration you did was Psycho Frame. Like, we're both big fans of Psycho Frame.
Yeah,
they're amazing.
Yep.
And I'd be curious to know how it happened. Really, I think we talked with Hunter a little bit, but I'd be curious to see your perspective. Like, what did you think about them? Like, what made you go like, oh my god, yeah, I'm on this song. And this song is amazing, by the way. Like, the song that you're on, like,
yeah.
The part itself is fucking sick.
Yes,
dude.
your part is
awesome.
sick.
I was already a fan of Psycho Frame, but like Psycho Frame plus Dawn, I was like, hell yeah, that's a good fucking mix.
Yeah,
I can fuck with this.
Yes.
Thanks. Yeah, I agree. I usually will just, most likely I'll do a project. I think back in the day I was more like, yeah, whatever. Whatever you got. Now I'm like, all right, I got to listen to it. And I have to kind of really feel it, you know? And that's really mainly just because of like, where I'm trying to grow my brand and, you know, as an artist, I can't get to everybody's shit. So Hunter approached me, and he threw me the song, and I listened to it, and immediately I was like, this is very extreme. The vocals on this are just so crisp and on point and punctual, and it's got that severity. It just cuts through. The band is just ripping, and I was like, wow, listen to the production. And I was like, this is a band that's got their shit together, you know. This band is incredible. So yeah, it took 2 seconds to say yes, but really I was like, you're setting me up on this part though. Where you guys,
now you got to deliver.
Yeah, and I was like, it sounds like you got like 10 vocalists on this thing. I'm like, fuck, you got me coming in here.
Let's do an 11th.
I got to come in right at this point after you guys just did all that. Yeah. So I was like, I got to come in swinging. I got to come in with like everything I fucking got. And I was like, just to match that frequency that they're already they're coming at you with the scolding finger in the shoulder, and you know how that hurts. So I was like, all right, I gotta really come in here and think of something that's gonna really be me and you know, brandy Don Campan, but also be very extreme and match this, because it's really those guys are a force, you know, and they have every right to be blowing up as they are. And same thing with Nine Dead, you know, they're coming at you with 115, like with this punchy,
such a good track.
Just
super groovy.
Super groovy, super throwback, super have a point, a theme, a message, even something that I'm even into, you know, supernatural, alien, other life, you know, 333, all sorts of shit, you know, like stuff that I'm experiencing, right? So here these guys come manifesting from fucking God knows where. I think I met John when he was in his other band prior to Nine Dead, and we played his show long time ago. And now again, it's like when things are supposed to happen, they'll happen. And all of a sudden I get a message, and okay, I don't even know if I heard the song at that point. I don't even think I don't know if I did. I don't recall. I think it's I just said yes out of the kindness of my heart. Okay, let's go. I got whatever. That sounds fun. And again, just with the intent set out, with nothing in return, no strings attached. If you make $1 zillion on it and it blows up, cool, awesome. You know, like that's the cherry on the top. You know, but I can see that you really want to create with me. And that's why I'm saying yes, not for any other reason at this point. You know, like what am I going to do at this point? I tour with Dying Fetus, Napalm Death. I play with some of the sickest bands and know some of the sickest band members, you know, around the planet in this genre. My dreams have come true with this. I can't do anything else more. Besides be there for the community and support the community right back. So like again, sending me a tent out and having it get paid in spades. I don't know what else to say. It goes with good-hearted people. Those guys are extremely talented. Have been through a lot themselves with some lineup changes, and again, that could be like a whole, I know, devastating blow, and it could really change the gears and the tone. And sometimes projects don't work out, or people aren't friends anymore because of things like this. So it was a cool experience to do the recording, and then they're like, "Do you want to do this music video for it?" I said, "Wow, yeah, this is killer shit," and then I didn't know that they lived 20 minutes from me.
Right, that was super close, yeah.
So that was really cool, and
then jamming in the basement. I guess that kind of came out of that too.
Yeah. There it is again, supporting each other, helping each other out in life, and that doing. Oh yeah. You don't see my screen, do you? I'm not sharing screen.
No, I don't see your screen.
All right, cool. So I just, yeah, okay.
Is it working on something?
Yeah, I'm working on something. The person just actually responded right here, and he's fucking stoked. So I'm stoked on that. So that was cool.
There we go.
We witnessed that in real time.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I wish I could say who that is, but you'll see.
Same. I have some things I want to say that I can't, and it happens. But it's you wait until, but it's not always easy. But the thing with Nine Dead and Cycle Frame, pretty much every feature you're doing fairly recently, it's the same thing that I've mentioned with the shows. Like, people are not asking you to join the song to have a big name on it. They're asking you specifically because there's a big meaning for them for you to join the song. Yeah. I think it makes a big difference as well. Yeah. They're reaching out because there's like, I don't want anybody else. I want him on the track. Yep. It's his vibe, his soul, everything. That's what I want. So I feel like it's more meaningful than just a collab of like, oh, let's, find someone. Yeah. People reaching out to you, they want you specifically, and you can feel it on the track, and it fits. To be fair, like every feature you're doing, like it makes sense. The part makes sense. It with your vocals and all that. So that's kind of also my take on it. Like I really like you can feel that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm being very I'm really scrutinizing what I'm doing these days on. I'm putting myself under a real big microscope, and really, like, if it's not something, if I like, once I'm done recording, and I have to be like right now, like thinking that is something I would love to listen to.
Yeah.
Nothing less than like, that's the shit.
You have to
like,
fuck with it.
Yeah, like I totally fuck with that shit right there, and that's me, and I totally think that's hot, and like, that's a lot for me. My voice is very round. It's not sharp. It doesn't come in harsh. Sure. I have to give it, when I'm recording, a lot. And it's got to be super dialed in and super filled, super full, super packed with energy. I can't do it any other way. It's totally like, it's obviously an experience in itself with energy, and you're able to capture this energy in audio, and feel moved every single time. Really. Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's something incredible. Audio is what makes everything. Like video is really cool and everything, but video is a bunch of frames put together, a bunch of pictures. What is video? Video is just a bunch of still images. It's your audio that's giving you this experience. Hence why it can be an additive thing, just like album art and all these things. Like it could add to a universe, but it's not the thing, right? Like the thing is the music for sure.
That's what matters the most for sure. Yeah.
Everything else is irrelevant if you don't got the music.
Yeah, man. So I mean, I'm just in the zone now with like having myself like produce a certain sound for the certain project. I'm trying to also not just come in and do what I want to do, but have it make sense. you know,
fit the project,
have
fit
it
the
fit.
band.
And that's why I think you said that, because you feel like it fits and it works, because I'm making that happen. I have to meet the creative idea, the theme, or, you know, approach that's being taken, so I don't stand out like a sore thumb and be like, this doesn't really, like what, you know, and
why'd they add this dude to the track? What the fuck?
Exactly. Yeah. You know, like there's that could happen. If I don't take it all as serious.
We've all seen it, man. We've all seen it. There used to be a big wave, if we're talking like deathcore specifically.
Oh my god.
Big wave of bands just having a million features on their tracks and just having just the most random
sounding
people.
kind of the same. Also,
sounding the same. It doesn't add anything. It's literally just a name on a track. It's like a cool thing to brag about, but like it's not. It doesn't add to the music. Again, to your point, it's about the music, right? Like it's not about anything else. And yeah, absolutely.
you can.
And we've seen so much of that in the past.
Yeah.
You can feel that. Like pretty much all my favorite things. Like I end up watching interviews or whatever, and what I'm noticing always, I'm connecting with bands that have a strong connection within the band, right? That it's not just like, oh, let's do something that works and let's, you know, because there's some, and I'm glad it works. Like I wish everybody success, but you can tell certain bands that they do, you know, everything's in a strategic way. It works, you know, but I'm since I'm very emotional, I'm connecting with bands that, you know, you can feel their bunch of friends just putting their whole soul in what they do and just, you know, and that's something you can feel live in the music and everything. It's hard to explain, but you can feel these things. So as you said, when you do a collab like that, it's important for you to not only match your vibe, but I feel like it's probably for you a way of giving back. Like, you want me on the track, you won't regret it. It's gonna be freaking sick. Like I feel like that's the
absolutely. It's a piece of history that I take seriously, and that this person is taking that much seriously too. And I'm able to contribute to that, you know, and that means the world to me. You know, it goes beyond just being like, yeah, I'm making noises on a microphone, you know, or whatever. You know, it's again this abstract art that, if you apply this artistic approach to it, that you could appreciate it just that much more, and you appreciate what everybody else is doing. And I feel like that's what keeps that passion there. So yeah, it's something.
You also mentioned that you toured with all the big, you know, Dying Fetus, all those bands. I know it's a tough question, but like, if you would have to pick like the band that impressed you the most, like when you were there live, like, is there like one band that you still remember, or maybe a vocalist or somebody that you were just like, what the hell, like that you witnessed live? Like, do you have specific
live? Oh man. There's so many good live that I've seen. That's tough.
It's a tough question. It's a very tough question.
It's tough. I mean, if we're going way back, I would say Lamb of God.
Okay.
Randy was always fun to watch live. I think these earlier years for me shaped who I was, just like any other kid, you know. So I would be lying if I said it was somebody recently or something, you know. I would say, you know, Disgorge. Barney from Napalm Death, big Napalm Death fan. So it's just like, I have no words for like being able to be on tour with them for a month in Europe. Like what?
Yeah, right. Not even like somewhere else too.
Yeah,
right? Like
it's
not
insane.
Even home.
It's insane. I always loved who did I see? I saw Demu. I saw Demu live. I seen Cannibal Corpse. You know, I never saw them with Chris Barnes though. I do love Chris Barnes to death though. I would say he's my number one influence, other than like Matty Way. Matty Way is huge influence. Huge. I really appreciate his work, and he's a hell of a guy. Who else? Joe Wolf from Heinous Killings. another phenomenal piece of history of somebody who can really sound from like a whole other world, and really contribute their own style and unique approach, and get the idea about, like, in my opinion, what slam should be sounding like, and that ultra underground brutal groove. There's just so many bands, I'm blanking right now, but
it's a good answer. Honestly, it's just, I love asking that, because for a fan, for example, like myself, it's always fun to know where it's coming from, for your favorite artist, like where this,
Sure.
I would have guessed death metal, right? Like, it's pretty clear, you guys, are always been more into the brutal slam death than
Guttural Secrete. A lot of the Japanese bands, Infernal Revulsion. So these guys really, really put the finger in the chest.
Mm-hmm. That's the magical thing, right? Like, you take all these inspiration, you create something out of it, and then you have like that's that's awesome.
Yeah, that's all. That's it too. And I love hardcore. So I love Hatebreed. I loved just so many bands. Diecast. I listened to everything. Fetus. Just really anything that was super brutal, I was super into and super influenced by, and whatever people hear from it, they hear. I've been told a lot of things. You sound like this, that. But people are leaving the comments now on your videos, and it's beautiful to see what they're saying. I had this one kid really, really leave a nice comment about what he hears, and he doesn't understand how I'm doing it and how awesome I'm doing it. All these other great things that he said. So you just don't know what people are thinking until they really come forth and talk about it. This one kid apologized, coming forth at a public forum about how, he didn't get it and he judged it too hard. And we were just talking about this earlier, come out of the gate too hard, and then it clicks with you. It's something that you see, that has a longevity. If I go listen to the first album, that's what people are trying to.
He came to his senses.
He saw
the light.
He got it. He got the memo.
Yeah, a little late, but still.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
he was probably bullied into liking it. All his friends are making fun of him for not getting it.
Yeah, there you go. No, but it's a beautiful thing though, because you're talking about your inspirations, right? Like people that got, but now you are the inspiration for a lot of people.
It's crazy. It's wild. So that's why, I mean, I know how they feel too. And for me to be that for them, or, so just real quick, like even more than that, having these kids come up to you and then they're spilling like a life story, like your band changed my life or saved my life.
Yeah.
Right. Like this conversation is now happening. I thought it was going to be like, what size are you? And it's like, no, it's, it's
how long is it? Yeah.
Like this, is it a medium? Is it an XL? What are we doing here? You look like a large, do you want basketball shorts, a hat? What are we doing? Mm-hmm. But these kids come up and it's a life story. Sometimes it's really long, and they have to tell you. They have to tell you what Waking the Cadaver did for them, and it's not only happened like countless times now, it's still happening, and I did not see that coming at all. And I'm like, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. What? Like this? What?
He got the wrong guy for sure.
Yeah, this garbage did that. So this is a whole other fucking thing. And I've heard it from all sorts of walks of life, different ages and different times, and from tattoo artists to artists themselves to people who are flourishing now in the scene themselves as vocalists. Have all come to me at some point and give me a story or the age bracket where they were influenced by this and how this was the gateway to get into other heavy extreme shit. And that's just insane to hear. I couldn't be happier.
Waking was one of my first like heavier bands. Like within a slew of other bands in the genre and death metal and stuff like that, like Waking were right there in the beginning, like straight off of the Soul Seek with a few other recommendations that a friend had made, you know, like, so I feel that on a deeper level for sure.
And I appreciate that, because that's how I was trying to find, you know, the heavy shit too, like with LimeWire way back when.
Oh my god, yes.
And
yes.
I was
downloading viruses all the time.
Yeah, just downloading viruses, whatever. You know,
hoping it's the real song.
Yeah, and it's not. And for me, it was always like
the original Rick Roll for sure.
Oh my god, yes, that was horrible on that. No, but it's a beautiful thing, because as you know, by doing my video, I'm also doing videos about smaller bands and stuff, and I'm reaching out a lot to these, you know, to these bands. And when I'm talking with people like, you know, Slamwish or the other band I sent you, you know, Lid's Demise, and people when I mentioned Waking, like every single time they're like, that would be the dream. Doing a show with like you're that band now, and I feel like
Anna was in here saying that earlier.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
We were in a big discussion, so I was like, I won't plug it. But like Anna from Liz Demise, she's like, I want to play a show with Waking. Like you're that person in that band now, so it goes to show that if you keep at it and you're being real and you inspire people. Now you're here. Now you're the person that people want on their track, that want to tour with and play shows. So
I'm going to tell you why this is all happening. It's your fault, and it's everybody else's fault that we're talking about this band, because this band was dormant and we weren't doing shit. And I was like, all right, maybe it's time, you know, just pull the plug, whatever. It's all good. It's all good, you know.
Did your time?
Yeah, did the time. Shit happens.
My back hurts. It's chill.
My back definitely hurts. It definitely hurts. And I was like, all right, it's all good. You know, everything got to come to an end. No big deal. I'm grateful for everything. And then all of a sudden, some popular kids online in some other countries started running their mouth, and it was all great things. And I was like, what's going on over here? And just like, you could just see like all these tags and posts, and it just all of a sudden was like, boom, 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 boom. And I was like, like, and then people were like, dude, are what's good? Instantly. I was like, I don't know. Let me find out. And I'll get back to you. So yeah, that's what's going on with the reason why. I just seen it's like literally, it's like the fans came, pushed the button we want now. And I don't know, fast forward 20 years later or whatever, people got the memo on what we're doing. They understand it better. They've grown out of their corny hatred from, you know, being brainwashed to think it's cool to hop on some wagon of like, if I say otherwise, I don't get the scene points at the show. Yeah. You know, like whatever.
Like every time, like every aspect, like it's always easier to blend in, right? Than just to. That's kind of.
But how do people expect to stand out? You know, that's what I don't understand about people copycatting other bands is cool, but you're not. How are you planning to expand your horizons
or fully feel it, even like because to feel something, it needs to be your own. If you're like, oh, I'm doing like them, but well, you're kind of just, you're summoning what contribute. They did. So it's
you gotta do your thing. You gotta do your thing.
It's ironic too, I think, for most people from a fan perspective, to be either gatekeepy or to be closed-minded or any of those things, and to like whatever everyone else likes, because ultimately those same people are probably listening to the most unique bands. Like the reason they're listening to those bands are probably because they were unique at least at one point or another before everyone started ripping them off, right? Like, so it's like, it's always kind of ironic to me when people are, but
it's just, getting it. But I don't know. I think it's the best reason to come back. The fans want, everybody. And not only that, but the more I'm talking with these bands, with Slamwish, Nine Dead, whatever, like you really like Waking truly like it's not an opinion, it's just a fact. Like it's a major influence for a lot of people, and I would even say some big bands out there were inspired first by Waking. So it goes to show it's the best reason to come back. It's because genuinely everybody wants you guys to be there.
Right. That's what you were saying before about the numbers thing. You know, like the numbers are definitely not going to be there for Waking as other bands, and that's not our goal, is to put numbers on the board.
That's not the reason. Right. That's not the why.
My numbers are in people's pockets because they got paid because it's sold out. Mm-hmm. You know, my numbers went into other people's worlds. Mm-hmm. And that's only because the fan base is real, and the love is real, and the support is real. And I talk to the fans. I'm not too cool for school. This entire journey, I've always been open and talked to everybody. How do you think this happened?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
You know, like this is how it works. If you don't take advantage of these opportunities, you're missing out. You're missing out on a lot. And
Yep.
Yeah. You know, it's sick. You're right, but it's the fans that wanted this, so I have to put forth
serving it up.
You should have seen on the video. I did the video on Waking, and Dunn, you commented on it, right? I think there's like 25 replies saying, "Are you going to do new music?" Like everybody was just like, "Please release some new music." Like, are you guys doing something? Every time I mentioned Waking, or even the reaction I did, kind of review reaction thing, like people were like, "I hope they're, working on something or whatever." So definitely, it's there are more,
Let's talk about that. Actually, I mean, we alluded to this in the very beginning of the show, but we're talking about new people being involved with the band, and we only kind of touched on it. Maybe you could spill the beans.
Yeah, I would love to spill the beans.
Yeah, what's coming up?
So as of recent, Mike Mayo has had to step down, and he's got a lot going on in life, and he's got to do other ventures and endeavors, and that's a very respectable thing, and fully support him as a brother, and I love him dearly, and this was not going to be an easy replacement at all.
Yeah. He's been there for a long ass time at this point.
Yeah. He's been invested and knows the band better than anybody, and is so dialed in. To get somebody to fill shoes of and also conquer this last album, which is primarily what we've been playing live because we haven't had a chance to.
Yeah.
So this is in high demand, and I feel like this is also why the shows are good, because this is just not happening
for a while. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there's that drive, and we're delivering, and everybody's having a great time, and it sounds killer. So it's something that we could be proud of and continue moving forward with. But then Mike's not able to continue, and that's all good. So just as of recently, this person I'm going to mention has had to step down as well from this position, and it's been something I was not prepared for as well, due to job-related world and things that had to happen over that way, and that's just what it is. Again, we opened this chat with basically rolling with the punches, having to deal with a lot of things, expect the unexpected. Like got to stay on your feet. Things happen quick in this little world we're in, and especially with a band member movement, it could collapse everything. The whole thing could go awry. No matter how much you try to set it up to be perfect, like you could.
No matter how much you would want to try, even sometimes,
Right. So we were going to announce the infamous John Hartman from Mortal Decay, and who was in Waking, in Bludgeonment. He was on our third album, and it made a lot of sense. Fantastic guy.
A lot of Mortal Decay, actually. There's some stuff that fits really nicely, kind of genre.
Absolutely. They're legends and have been in the scene for as long
fucking ever.
for as long as the eye can see.
Since I've been born. So
yeah. So they're definitely incredible people in this world that we're in, and it was really great to think he could be back part of it. But as of recent, he was unable to. So I was like, damn, what are we gonna do? So before we went crazy, and this just happened like 2 days ago. So it's pretty.
Yeah, it kind of unfolded while we were talking.
Yeah. It's been a while. So the amount of time that I thought this was going to take to fix was going to be like a real headache, right? I don't have a backup plan. That was the backup plan, and now the backup plan is gone. Or the person who was stepping up to plate is no longer able to do it, which is a big deal. So we have things booked right now, and we have everything that's going on. And by the way, for those that are watching, everything is still going on. We, before making a big stink about it online, or trying to like throw up a lot of flags and make a big deal of things, we, reached out to our network here and put our feelers out of anybody. And Marco had asked Ray from 6 Feet Under. Yeah. And he was able.
He plays with them, right?
Yeah. So now he's going to be our new guitar player.
Yeah.
Yes.
That must be super fucking exciting, right?
Yeah. So this is literally, so he come to the, so I got that news at like 4:20. and
convenient,
convenient time. I was like, all right, I'm going to focus. I said this to my girlfriend. I said, I'm focusing all of my energy, because she was right next to me when it happened. So she was like, oh, fuck. I was like, yeah, fuck. Actually, I yelled fuck really loud because I was pissed. And she's like, what's the matter? I was like, I'll tell you in a minute. So I said, look, I'm going to focus all my energy into just not getting crazy and just putting forth that we're going to solve this problem as fast as we can. And so, within a 3-hour time span, by putting our feelers out there, Marco had recommended Ray, and I said, wow, I don't think that's going to happen, but okay.
Yeah.
All right, my guy, sure, you go ahead. Buy my DVDs, go ahead. So he I had a conversation with him the other day, and it was a beautiful conversation, and I appreciate him very much for stepping up to the plate. He's already got some material down in record-breaking time.
Okay, that's insane.
I'm just really, I'm really blown away by what he's already bringing, and I trust Marco too. So again, we're back at the conversation of trusting a band member, and how far.
So there's something with them already having chemistry too, right?
Right, absolutely.
From 6 Feet also, that might also play into it.
100%. So again, you're building, it's that brotherhood working with another brotherhood, the clans have united.
Yeah, helping each other out type thing.
And then that feels even more incredible. And to hear a band, this is a band that I love and respect. And now there's, 2 members of that band in my band, which is pretty fucking nuts. So, this interview may break the internet for that news a little bit. And I appreciate you allowing that. And so that was pretty wild, and that's been something that has evolved up until this interview, basically, as like 72 hours ago. And so that's, I guess, recent news as it's going to be. I'm greatly appreciative of him, and he's able to do all the shows that we have coming up at the end of this year and festivals and stuff. So this is going to be really phenomenal. Things change. I hope nothing changes from this news, but this is the news as of right now.
Right now, that's the plan.
Right
rolling
now,
with it.
Yeah. So that's the deal, and it's a beautiful thing. So this is where the writing. So here we are talking about the writing process, right? And you know what my goals are. And now and as I said earlier, I want people to contribute. It's not a dictatorship over here in a one-way highway. This is like, if you want to do something, by all fucking means, go ahead and let it rip. So, you know, this is all well received, and I'm really, really excited. And last but certainly not least, our new bass player as well, which flew under the radar. You know, you don't need to make a big deal out of everything online, right? But Michael Thomas, he has to part as well, and he has been a huge contribution to the band. And you know, to get somebody to replace also your bass player, who's bringing a lot to the table, is not an easy task. And again, it's the whole situation of, are you ever going to find another person? Is it going to be the right person? Is it going to work out? Does this person care? Are they going to be able to
another case of brotherhood, right?
Yeah, that's the most important thing, basically.
And to be honest, it's my pleasure to say that it's Anthony Kosu, who is in Hate Diplomacy and also Dehumanized, and a couple of other earlier bands from back in the day. And he's a dear brother of mine.
Very talented too. So
he was in this, you know, full steam ahead from the jump. He has just been nothing but ultimate contributor, and making sure that he's going to be bringing everything that he can to this. And he was thrown in last minute too. Everything was very, I need to shift these gears. I need everybody to be as pro as they can right now, operate as one unit, and everybody, nobody lives
Get the
next.
train moving.
Yep. Everybody got to be very diligent online. Everybody, this is an online process at this point. This band is operating solely digitally at this point. We're even be practicing, the app that you can dial in the different instruments and vocals on I forget what it's called. So that may be the deal, and have to play to Marco's CD quality through the PA, and I could jam with the two new guitar players and stay conditioned. I have a video on my YouTube channel about this, me doing some conditioning with me and Mike Mayo playing to Marco, through the click. And that's no joke too. It's just like, here, this is reality as fast as CD perfect as it's going to be. So we can stay conditioned like that. I tell Marco and the guys this all the time, the world's in a really fucking wild place right now, and I don't want to be flying my homeboy back and forth, with a family.
Prep for a show and
exactly. There's a lot of shit going on right now, and it just makes it really weird to be like, take you away from this world you're in and your loving family to go have some band practice. So what this band practices will happen soon. I'm very excited for it. But in the meantime, without Marco jamming live with us, we can still stay on top of our A game and not miss a beat, which is really important for me. And to make sure everybody's well-oiled engine that's ready to just fucking continue moving like nothing ever stopped, and that's a lot of energy and a lot of moving parts right now, and everybody making that happen. To keep this band in motion and to keep the fans happy, because that's really what we're doing this for, is to keep everybody having a good time and just, being creative and building this whole world that we're in. So, it's everybody's contributing. Everybody, whether
everyone has a chip.
Everybody. So, from the fans are contributing to putting everything in motion, to making it have a point, and the writing having a passion, new hype, new energy, new ideas, fresh minds, fresh bodies.
And you take on waking, that's for sure.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, baby. And we're just gonna keep this thing going and have a blast. And the vibes are fucking high, man. Vibes are high, and that's what is what's up.
That's so cool to hear, man. I'm so fucking excited for whatever you guys come up with.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm
Thank you.
truly excited for whatever the future is for Waking, man. That's
I think
so
we're
fucking
all
cool to hear, yeah.
very excited because as much as you said, it's always, a very difficult thing, right? Because it's not only like from an outside perspective, people might think, oh, okay, it's a guitar player or whatever, but like when you care as much, when you care that much, like it's more than that. Like it's kind of almost kind of a grief. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's kind of like saying goodbye to someone in your band. Like it's a big thing.
Yeah.
But when you know that you're replacing these people though with people that are super excited to do it and very talented and stuff, it goes from a dark place to something very exciting, right? So it's
right.
It's kind of this whole so as Dom said, like I'm super excited for you guys because it seems to be the case. Like now it's exciting to see, with all this talent in the band, what's going to happen. I think everybody wants to know that. So
yeah, I'm excited too. I feel like it's just as you just said, you have to go through hard times to get to the to the good times, or to the time,
no rainbows without rain or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So that's it. Yeah, man. So I mean, it's totally an honor to be playing and to again continue writing and being creative with my friends and making new friends during this process. And then hopefully one day we'll have what we're all thinking right now, which is, could there be a 6 Feet Under and Waking show?
Yes, sir.
I mean,
how about Chris on the track? Yeah, something like that.
I'm really I'm manifesting the shit out of that.
Look, we'll manifest it with you, baby.
Let's get it manifested.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's just
make it happen.
Let's just close it the fuck down and make it happen.
Why not? I mean,
that would be where I really shit myself.
There we go. I never thought I'd say this, but Don, I hope you shit yourself.
I hope I shit myself. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Let's manifest that.
But man, dude, thank you so much for doing this, man.
No problem.
This was a really, really fucking cool conversation. Yeah. It's so awesome to be able to talk to someone like yourself and to really go, as much talk about the past as the future and everything in between. And it really means a lot to us that you came on to do this and to share. The way you've shared as well. It's super fucking appreciated, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. And I thank you so much for your time. I thank everybody who showed up to the chat. Sorry I didn't chat with anybody in there and such, but I was reading it as we went on. The show is phenomenal. I hope everybody sees the potential in the talent that I see right here is really something. And for what I know is going on in the background, of this talented gentleman right here is there's a lot going on in your world, and I couldn't be happier for you and where your journey is headed, and this whole creative avenue that has united. It's just going to grow and flourish and make some things happen. So again, it's about everybody being there for each other, and I know this isn't a fucking hippie fest, but it's definitely a lot of love and a lot of respect and support. And I feel like this community is just a great place for anybody who's really looking to fucking lose their mind, cut loose, where there shouldn't be any rules or regulations going on. There should just be any create pure creativity. Whatever you want to do it. Don't hold back. Be yourself, your authentic self, as much as you fucking can, and don't it's like there's no room right now, in my opinion, for hatred, in a sense of there's no room for the bitter hatred. You want to be really passionate about something and hate something on that level, then that's a whole other frequency. But you want to hate something that somebody's doing on a creative world. I feel like there's slowly but surely becoming like a total cancel culture just in that regard, and I feel like it's a good thing in a lot of ways, where people and music and growth can happen when it's not being suppressed by all these other things that are throwing a wrench in the gears, because it's not needed in the world.
No, it's irrelevant to the music.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole creative journey, that's just not even like respected, or it just gets corny, and if you're gonna, that doesn't go far these days. So I feel like that had its day, especially from a world where people are really being hard asses behind the computer screen with a lot of
good old Twitter fingers.
Yeah, it goes in this world of everybody needs to just have a good time, keep that in the forefront of what they want to do, no matter what they're doing, and that's what you'll be smiling about at the end of the day. So again, I can't be more grateful and thankful for the fans and the music and all the band members and the band members that are coming forth now and the future. This has been so far a fabulous journey, and I'm just grateful as fuck about everything, and I love everybody, and just thank you all so much, and slamming Gore Groove nonstop.
Hell yeah, man.
It's slam season, baby.
It's slam season.
There you go. And not only was that like a beautiful journey, but it's still going. And I know you guys are going to come up with a lot of amazing stuff, shows and stuff like that. There's so many cool new, slam bands coming out, like Slam Wish and stuff like that. Only dreams to play with Waking and stuff like that. So like it's striving, and it's only gonna go, from there even better over time. Like it's looking bright is what I'm trying to.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely. I feel like there's nothing but great things to come for a lot of people and a lot of bands. A lot of bands are tight with me. I network a lot in a lot of different genres. There's just a huge amount of musicians out there that are just ridiculously talented, and I'm so grateful for who I've been able to create with, and who wanted to do the same thing with me and take that risk. There's a lot of risk when somebody's world is getting a lot of attention. Then you step into that, and then now you're under the microscope. So there's a lot of pressure out there, and everybody takes pressure differently. So that goes in hand with why I'm saying, everybody is just over the nonsense and wants to just contribute in a real positive sense, because I feel like they're seeing that work a lot more and get more out of it.
Yep. For sure.
And that's what we're all here for. And again, nobody's forcing anybody to listen to anything at any time. So, to each his own, and
let people be happy and do their, their
do your thing. Yeah, do your thing.
Even if it doesn't vibe with you, people need to understand. It's fine. It's completely fine. You don't have to like everything, but when people are putting their energy and their soul and everything they have, if you don't like it, it's completely fine. But I don't think it's necessary to, go shit on them for no reason. So as you said, I feel like a lot of people are feeling like that now, and there's more like just so that's awesome. And while we're here, I just want to say thanks to to Lord Marco hanging out the whole freaking time with us. Also, like while we're here, I wanted to say that's super cool. I think
one of the fucking greats, man.
I know. Prodigy over here. Yeah, he is. I know. It's incredible to read what everybody's writing, and the support is, as you can see, very real. It's raw as it could be, and you can't deny that. So again, for people like yourselves, keeping the scene alive, making sure that the support is there for maybe people who were not aware of a lot of things or have any clue about some bands, or obviously some people are still discovering Waking the Cadaver up until this very moment, and it's because of your type of channel, your world, you taking the time to build this type of level of support, and you contributing, and everybody else here contributing to to the whole machine of it to make it that much bigger and better and supportive. And I think that's also why people are coming out to the shows for and they're like really sold out, really, and this is so great to see. And you can see how comfortable people feel. You can feel that raw energy, and the show, the video footage is there. It's what it is. And I'm so glad that I'm able to continue, and I can't thank everybody enough. And it's time for me to shut up.
Well, thank you, man. Again, it's so this was such a cool fucking conversation, really. Man. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing the way you did, man. It's super fucking appreciated.
I appreciate it. We
value your time a lot, and
it's no problem.
It's really appreciated. Like real honor.
It's no problem. It's my honor. So it's no problem whatsoever. Thank you so much.
We'll keep in touch, man. And
we'll do this again.
For what's next, man.
Yeah. We'll have another crazy podcast about some other shit that's non.
There we go.
Hyper focused.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. And anyway, we're gonna keep. Of course, we're keeping in touch. So
yeah, we're keeping in touch. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
have a great night, man. Thank you so much.
You too. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Care,